everyone. This is Sharon with Entelechy Visions, and this is an energy update for the week of February 3rd through February 9th. So we have now officially exited the month of January and are moving more fully into the second month of this powerful year, where January has felt a lot like that physical integration, and a lot of the lessons that were learned or being learned from the eclipse cycle were being anchored into the physical body. So you may have felt that over the course of the last several weeks, and even the week after the new moon especially, that there was a lot of physical realigning that was taking place, because that new moon really launched us into this new cycle to really prepare us and get ready for this new phase and new year ahead. But with that came a lot of physical recalibrating, as the physical body is really the last to kind of catch up to all of the changes taking place. So if you felt that life has been kind of foggy and things haven't really quite kind of kicked into gear for you just yet, know that we've been undergoing a period of adjustment, that the new energy of this year and of this new cycle is fully here, and we are launching into this new phase, but it does take some time to really release the old. So although things have already begun, it's kind of like we've been hovering in this space that's very similar to a snake shedding its skin. So that new cycle is here, where the process of a snake shedding its skin is that half of its body is out of that old layer, that the rawness or the newness of its new skin is exposed, while at the same time it is still undergoing this release of the skin from the back of its body. So it's kind of half in one world, in the new world, and then half in the old world. And I was being shown that vision this week that were really very similar to that experience, that we have one foot in the old and one foot in the new, and we're just kind of trying to shake off that old layer. So it feels that level of vulnerability because we're entering this new cycle, but we're also trying to just let go and release everything that has come up for us and all that needs to be shed in order for this new phase to truly anchor in. So with this physical integration, we may have had a lot of triggers or challenges or even physical pains or even sickness come up during this period. And as it moves through us, it kind of pulls you back. It pulls you back to yourself and really helps you to discover more of your truth, more of the highest version of yourself, because it's shining a light on areas that need to be reworked or remapped. And so anytime we move through any kind of integration or some recalibrating physically, it's inviting us to really dive into ourselves even more, to do that self-work so that we can share more of ourselves with the world. Over the course of this past week, we also had some pretty powerful experiences on a collective level. And this particular experience was really devastating to hear because we lost a very potent figure as part of our culture, as part of society. With the loss of Kobe Bryant and many other people who were on that plane, there was a lot that was arising on the level of grief collectively. So you may have seen this in representations of public figures in shows, and them kind of sharing their truth or their stories and how they were relating to it. However, even though this is an intense loss, and many felt this in many ways, and it's sad to know that someone has left this world too soon. Many people have. However, seeing it from a higher perspective, that sometimes there are certain things that happen that actually catalyze the growth of a collective. So, an agreement that a soul has made, even prior to being in this life, to have this experience so that it can be a catalyst for growth and change. And what was occurring on this level, on this higher level, was that there was a great heart expansion that was happening. And also with that, you were seeing a lot of heart emoting and opening with the masculine. And with the experience of sports, which is such an intense, often masculine kind of energy. Yes, there are women, but when you're looking at it from a masculine energy, feminine energy kind of standpoint, which we all have within us, the effect of sports on our culture, on our society, is very much that yang energy, which is masculine energy. So it's the doing, the acting, the fandom, the very intense fanatics around that. And that's all a very masculine energy. And that doesn't mean man or woman, it just means that action, very outward kind of impression upon things. So I was being shown that this experience that we were all moving through as a collective was actually providing the opposite expression of that. So with that yang energy, that masculine expression, this situation that we moved through collectively was balancing that and inviting more of that feminine energy, that yin expression, moving inward, expressing the feelings, expressing and opening the heart. So this balancing was occurring not just in the area of sports, because we're not all sports fans, but this was occurring collectively to kind of balance that action-oriented, that masculine yang energy that we all kind of live under and within in our daily lives, because it's such a busy society that we're in, to really invite us to move more into the heart center, to have this heart opening, to have this expansion. And even though grief is not a fun emotion to move through and not a fun experience, that there's so many layers to that, it can inspire a lot of healing. Not just from the loss itself, but for the person going through that and having a heart opening, and then also inspiring us to connect to others even more. Because when we are at our most vulnerable states, when we are at our most powerful, honest, and authentic selves and sharing how we're feeling about something, it really invites that sense of connection. It really invites that vulnerability and that ability to see our humanity in each other. So there was so much that was happening, and it could have even brought up many other layers, not just what was experienced collectively with this particular situation, but other things that were evoked from within, because we're moving through this huge purging around the heart space this past week. So this month is very much about learning to connect with others in new ways, to really have the innovation of connection, to move outside of our boxes or any constraints, which a lot of this past week has taught us, especially in the public field of people connecting with others in new ways, especially of men sharing their feelings in a more public setting, which is really, really powerful. So, with that, there is a lot of support that can be held when we connect with others. And we use that as a tool for these times because a lot that's going on, and there is a lot going on, that it can inspire some stress or some anxiety or nervousness within. So, when we connect with others, we are actually reminding ourselves that we are not alone, and we're reminding ourselves that we can lean into each other for that support, that we are all in this together, and that this can also be a beautiful time. And it is. For the launch of this new cycle, more expansion, more abundance, more opportunities are arising, new doorways are opening. So, as we're simultaneously experiencing a lot of the shedding of the old, the grief process, the heart opening, and the releases, we are also, like that snake, as I mentioned, stepping into the new. So, it's happening at the same time. So, as equal as the shedding process is, as is this new cycle and this new arrival of all of this growth and opportunity for us. So you may be seeing this reflecting in your life, but also wondering at the same time, why have I not shaken these issues or these blocks or these outdated beliefs or things that maybe you've been working on for what feels like eons? It's due to this period. It's due to this snake shedding quality kind of period where it takes time. It takes time to release the old. Or you can think of it in the way of when you move into a new place. It takes time to not only prepare the new space, to find the new space, to get everything aligned to move, but then with your old place, to pack up everything, to clean your space, to put the boxes in the moving truck. All of this is a process. So as you're stepping into the new, there's still the old that is wrapping up. So just be patient with your journey right now and with whatever is occurring in your life, and know that this period is finalizing, but it has to wrap up in its own organic time so that we're not kind of catapulted into the new without any kind of preparation or adjustment to it. So be very gentle on yourself and especially your physical body right now, because the physical body is the last to catch up. So it's going through a lot. It's adjusting to the new vibration of this cycle. It's adjusting to all that we have let go and are continuing to let go. And it may be moving through the physical form, through pains, aches, various symptoms, or even some colds or illnesses at this time. It's always a good idea to get checked out by a healthcare practitioner if something becomes chronic or concerning, but know that this is also happening on an energetic version for our physical forms. So we do have an exciting month ahead. We have several weeks where we are moving more into this expansive space, this innovation space. So with innovation is inviting a lot of creativity, inviting us to step out of our confined spaces and to really move into places that are out of our comfort zones, that are also inviting us to see our lives in a new way, to try something different, to move into a different avenue, to open up new doors and new connections. because this is a new cycle and this is inviting all of the new. And as we move into this month, we will be getting ready for another Mercury retrograde period around mid-month. And I will speak about that a little bit more as that gets closer. But there's nothing to fear with those cycles because they allow us to purge or integrate and release anything that needs to happen in that moment. So as we move towards this more innovation and taking new steps and opening and walking through new doorways, the Mercury retrograde period will allow us to integrate all of those changes that we have made. So I hope you have a wonderful week ahead. If you need additional support at this time, I offer remote sessions or in-person sessions. You can learn more at enteluckyvisions.com. And if you're enjoying this content, I invite you to like and subscribe to the channel, as it does help to support the channel. Thank you for listening and have a wonderful day.